2022 Endurance E-Racing World Championship brought to you in partnership with Viper Gaming by Patriots, Aztec Sim Sports, Global Flix, Motorvision.tv, Stengolm, ESTV and Film Vault Limited.
Racing for Green is here to help you carbon neutralize your racing. By planting new trees, Racing for Green offers to make your racing carbon neutral. We already have the calculations, contacts, infrastructure, deals and solutions ready for you to easily buy carbon neutral laps on any racetrack. It doesn't matter if you are a racing fan, team owner, driver, sponsor or partner. Anyone can buy CO2 neutral laps in the Racing for Green webshop and trade CO2 emissions for New Forest. Racing for Green.
Just think about the fun things you do online. Diving into movies you love. Shopping. Enjoying free Wi-Fi with your morning coffee. Wait, who's that guy? Meet the Digital Snooper. It can be your internet service provider peeking at what you do online, or a cyber criminal on a mission to snitch your credit card info, or a hacker at the next table trying to steal your sensitive data. Uh-oh. But don't worry. NordVPN keeps all these snoopers away. It makes your internet activity private, protects you from accessing dangerous websites, and lets you enjoy your favorite content securely, even while away from home. The best part? It's just a click. Yep, internet security is that easy.
You can get NordVPN today at a 60% discount by visiting gtr24h.org/VPN.
Welcome back to the GTR 24H EEWC round number 3 here. 12 hours of Sebring. 8 down, 4 to go. As Kieran McGinley has gone for a very well break. You've got me to contend with this time. And second place has changed hands in the DPI class whilst we're away. So you can see in the top left picture of Naquib Azlan in the SEM9 Axle car. And that's where it went slightly wrong for Nella Pastorino in the 64 Moradness eStars car. Has wandered a little bit too deep at turn 1 and off to do some lawn mowing and giving second position to the SEM9 Axle number 11. So not ideal for them. I think that has diffused the closest battle we had as far as on track is concerned. Well, Naquib Azlan is absolutely going for it. He's flying along quite nicely as Nella Pastorino has caught the back of the CKR car following their rather unusual excursions, or shall I say Pedro Delgado's excursions earlier on, missing. Oh no! On Nicoya! Second of the GT3s, the 404 Audi is facing the wall and has gotten back underway again. Well spotted production. It's not ideal. Now, from that angle, he hadn't hit the wall, but unless we kind of saw post-impact, so to speak, hopefully we're going to replay of that and see what on earth he has done. Already, see, production's on it. Let's see what he did. So screaming down the Ullman straight. Bounce, 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 and round she goes. And did keep it out of the ball. Nicely done, Henri Coya. Kept the 404 out of the wall. We think that's going to happen a little bit more often now. As fatigue is kicking in, obviously the vast majority of drivers have been in the car at least once or twice. So, because the yellow flag, so he's been off again, so I'm just being told. So he's has he done it there? Nope. So he's, whilst that replay was loading up, he's caused another round. Now we're still in the replay here. Now we're into turn 2. Well, he seems to be behaving himself there. So has he gone? This is Gurney Bend. It's probably going to be hairpin. I wouldn't be surprised if he's pushed a little bit too hard to make up lost time and just flown off the road at hairpin, which is now coming up. Now, was my hypothesis correct? No, it was not. It's the answer. He was fine there. So he has had another issue somewhere, but he seems to be behaving himself at that moment. Still staying with him. So now into Cunningham. Looking all right there. Collier. No, that's all right. Come off the road. No, of course we don't. We don't wish anybody to come off the road. No, of course we don't. Now a turn. No, he's fine there. Down the straight. Bishop Bend. Well, I'd be surprised if he's had an issue there. It's flat out left-hander. Chindebian. It's here. Well, all looking good so far. Then into Le Mans. Unless he's had an issue at exactly the same point a lap later. Has he just repeated the same issue, I wonder? Well, it'll be amusing for us. It'll be exceedingly frustrating for the 404 Glam Racing team if he has. Let's see. Answers on the postcard. No, he's behaved himself. So if he did cause a yellow flag, we didn't really see for why, because that next lap was absolutely fine. That's live. That's so that's actually where he now is. He's being chased by the SEM9 Axle car. That I think is the DPI one. That's Naquib Azlan. No, it isn't. That's the Nigo Anton. That's the LMP2 car that's just gone past him. Oh, it is the DPI one. I beg your pardon. Oh, that's Dawid Mroczek then. That's the Burst eSport Simplexity car. My mistake. See, the Burst eSport and SEM9 Axle squads liveries are very, very, very similar. And of course, in the dark, that's the excuse I'm using, and I am sticking to it. I make no apology for it. But Dawid Mroczek is flying another fastest lap of the race fairly recently. Well, fairly recently, last time around, 1:44.953 for that particular team. Or fairly recently, I think. Oh no, beg your pardon. I thought they did it last time around, but they were exactly half a second behind it last time. They were the fastest of the DPI class. I know what I'm doing. I promise you. The LMP2s are still with. That's raindrops that's fallen. Are we finally? Oh, is that? Was it the Gadget Housing car taking a very weirdly tight line coming through turn 1? Yes, it was them. What on earth were they doing at that particular point? That's who's in that one? Steven Salsgaard has got that one. Ooh, that's getting a bit close. There is rain, ladies and gentlemen. It is a very, very tiny amount of rain at the moment, but Florida is very unpredictable when it comes to its weather. We've been talking about this all night long. But it could well be that this is the start of a storm. It could well just be a start of a flutter of rain. This is the most it's rained all night, so it's now up to 3mm an hour, which is still not very much. But if it starts to get a bit persistent, then drivers are going to have to really think about altering their pit stop strategy, and that is not so ideal. If you're going to do that, you want to do it several hours ago. You don't want to be doing it in kind of the last third of the race. So, this could start to stir things up a little bit. Now, when we were speaking to the Burst Esports squad, or Burst Esports Simplexity team, they said they set their car up for rain, and they've been leading the class all night long. So, are they going to get even quicker when the rain falls down? We will see. We will see. Tom Capusto, we haven't seen you for a while in the 264 GTE car, currently 5th in class. That's the last remaining GTEs. 4 of them have fallen by the wayside as the race has continued. So very much the most heavily affected class. We've lost 1 DPI, 1 GT3, 1 LMP2, and 4 GTEs. There's Tom Capusto staying. Whoa, nearly turned into the sister car there. Or it looked like it from that particular shot. That would be Liam Rance in the 164 car. I think to drive through. Because I thought on our timing screen it was coming up that they had a penalty. But we will see if that was the case. But there they go, just out. It looked like his headlights were off. That's brave. I doubt that it was. I think it was just how the camera looked. There we go. He's got his lights back on. I'd be surprised. I know there's some track lighting out there, but I don't think there's enough. Who is that in the pits? Is that an Ego Anton? That's the 21 car. So yes, that's an Ego Anton springing. Oh, and there is the Burst Esports Simplexity. That's Dawid Mroczek that is in the pits at the moment for those 2 particular cars. Robert Pound for the Deuces Motorsport Club retaking the lead again in the LMP2s. So up until sort of really fairly recently, all the LMPs have been on the same lap. They've now spread out a little bit, but if there is going to be rain, it's almost certainly going to shake up the order a bit. You can't see any rainfall from that particular camera shot, but you can see at the very top of the screen that what the rainfall is. 3 millimeters an hour is very, very little, but like you said, it's very unpredictable what the Florida weather is going to do. And of course, it's now dark, so the track temperature is 25 degrees. It's not warm enough, but it's not going to be causing too much of an issue yet. We're obviously not going to see standing water, but what we are going to see is some slipperier conditions out there, and this track is hard enough in the dry and in the day. There we go. We're starting to see a little bit more rainfall now, just starting to come on the camera, so it's starting to creep up a bit more now. And windscreen wipers are going, so yeah. The rain looks much heavier in the pit lane than we saw on the previous camera. Now I think we may well see people deciding to get in and not take the risk, but it's going to be difficult because you need enough standing water to keep the rain tyres cool, and it's 25 degrees out there as mentioned, so it's still warm enough to boil off some of the water. It very much depends on is Nella Pastorino on slick tyres? Because if they are, that DPI is going to be horrendously hard to keep under control. We will see. It's the Moradness eSports car. What's Tom Capusto done? Yeah, the track is going to start to become slippery now. So again, the drivers are going to have to kind of deal with it for a while until the track is wet enough to keep the wet tyres under control. You can visibly see he's not attacking the apexes, he's not sliding the car willingly. Yeah, there's slipperiness out there going on. Well, is the rain starting to actually cause a difference? James Dziuba in the 18 Burst Esports Simplexity car. Now they've been having a good night all night long. They've been, other than at the very start when they had to wrestle the top spot from the number 64 Moradness eStars car, they've been untouched. They've been absolutely untouched all race long. James Dziuba was for a brief moment there driving one-handed. Just seeing on his camera, he's reached down for something to his left whilst bouncing around. So that's confidence in the car. It has been absolutely glued to the road all night. So I'm not really surprised that he is confident enough to keep that car under control, even with one hand on the wheel. The James Dziuba then in the number 18, leading the way by not far off a lap. You won't quite see Naquib Azlan. He's about 20-ish seconds up the road, give or take. No, not quite that far. He's about 10 seconds up the road, but near enough a lap down. But either way, that's purely because the 18 team have done so well.
Unless it's delayed by 20 minutes. Because there was a cloud over the track, as I said before, like just at the track 20 minutes ago, maybe 30 minutes ago, and then it went kind of away. But if it's a new cloud coming, then it would be nice to know how long to expect the rain for.
Is it open weather?
Yes.
Mysterious source of rain. That's Florida.
All good.
Whoa! That's getting lively.
Sorry for a heart attack if you watch the stream.
Yeah, what happened?
Basically, my H pattern shifter is. Wait, I cannot talk because I constantly hear my echo in your mic. So. Okay. Yeah, my H pattern shifter is like I can rotate it for 90 degrees, the shifter knob, and then it becomes like plus minus shifter, and I have brake bias on it, and I forgot to put it from H pattern to plus minus, so I moved it and it went in neutral, so I apologize.
Less than ideal, having gear shift troubles, and now with wet weather.
Yeah, that's strange. Your mic sounds like it's your headset mic, not some far away mic.
Yeah, it's it.
Wow, it's getting really tricky now. Is Sivicic going to bring that car in? No, he's confident with it at the moment, but he's had to. There, you're seeing a sheen now on the tarmac, so it's getting really tricky. It's now 6 millimeters an hour, which doesn't sound a lot, but when you were riding on board with Sivicic, you can really see how heavy that is. Out comes Tom Capus. No, that's not Tom Capus. I beg your pardon. That's the Deuces number 74 that has just come out. So that is Joao Barbosa now that has the Deuces car. Did they time their pit stop right and switch to the right tyres, we wonder? Team radio?
Increase the traction control to 4.
4 is my normal. I put it to 8. And then we'll see how it works.
Now it's working yet. Now it's working. You can drive normally. But take the brakes a little bit easy. On the first line here.
And it depends what the number 2 does, because when it's much
Yeah, I'm
lower.
still up to soft.
Yeah.
Huge mistake.
That's 4 seconds, first sector.
And if it's possible, you can make a double stint with wet tires.
Okay.
They are working up to 50%, which is not normal to make this usage before the end of the race.
So many cars in the pits at the moment as Barbosa. If that is still soft shod, he's doing a great job not to fling that off into the gravel. There you go. Look how many cars are in, getting onto wet tyres as that rainfall is getting heavy. It's now up to 8 millimeters an hour, which is certainly enough for our drivers to have to worry about it. Yellow sector 1, who is that? That was the Gadget Huset car. Steven Salsgaard's probably wandered off the road somewhere. So a big flurry of activity then. Well, this is a great opportunity. There you go. You can see on the camera just how heavy that rain's now falling. Oh, lovely. Well, the rain has flirted with us all night. Now finally is paying us a visit. And we knew when it arrived it was going to be heavy. Oh my, it's not disappointing. Well, it's not disappointing us. The drivers may have something else to think about it. And it is, yeah, it is really making the drivers think about it. This is going to be a wonderful opportunity to wake everybody up. I mean, you can kind of get into a bit of a rut of just kind of regular running, just hitting your marks and what have you. But when you've got this kind of issue going on, when you've got really... Oh, Henrik Hoyer is on the move. Yeah, he has. With the pit stops going on, that's really, really close. There is Henrik Hoyer in the 404 Glamour. Bear in mind, he was facing the wall not that long ago. He's only 1.7 seconds behind GT3 lead, which is the 585 car. Now Alessio Neto has got on. There they are. So it's the Audis leading the way in GT3. And only 37 seconds down the road is actually the CKR McLaren, so they could well get involved here.
How much does it cost to driver swap though? Does it cost anything?
No, not really.
Ah, okay. Yeah, because they need 50 seconds to change the tires. For refuel, especially, yeah. Okay. Ah, so that's not an issue then. You can just switch as you want. I thought that we add like 10 seconds or so, you know?
There's a leader.
Yeah, why is he there? Oh, he's one lap in front now. Get slicks or what?
No, I think we're leading right now.
No.
No?
No, we're 1.8 behind.
Oh.
Ah, okay, here he is. Yeah. There's a delay on there.
But anyway, I would like still a bit of quiet now because it is getting a little bit icy.
Okay. Yeah. GC up if you like, you know, and have fun.
You can't blame him wanting radio silence, because that's getting really, really difficult to deal with. And that's rather bolstering what I was saying earlier, is that now you can't just rely on your muscle memory and just going through the numbers. You really have got to focus, and these track conditions are going to change every single lap, especially if the rain fluctuates with how much is falling. Who's that in the pits? That's Vagapov for Unison Racing in the pit lane. Yellow sector 2, that is Pedro Delgado in the CKR car. I think he's had a spin, he's going again. But that's going to give the 32 car an opportunity to unlap itself from the CKR car, looking at the tracker. But the 32 car's got quite some distance to go. Message, what's going on? Car number 11, stop and go for hitting car 30. So there's a few penalties here. So car 11 has got to stop and go for hitting car 13. Oh, that's what Delgado did. With all the what looks like smoke billowing out the back. That's just the way that the spray looks in the dark. Oh, and he hit the wall. I mean, the rear wing's still on, but that was quite a clunk on the wall. That's not going to help. Oh, truth, that looked like a bit of a sudden rejoin. So let me do this again. Car 11 gets a stop-go penalty. Try that again. Stop-go 30 for hitting car 13 at lap 245. And gets another 30-second penalty for hitting car number 164. Oh dear. So that's two separate, not just one 60-second one. That's two separate penalties that car 11 has earned for itself. Oh dear, oh dear. And car 11 is Naquib Azlan in the SEM9 Axle car. So Naquib's been in there a while, so that's two separate incidents that he may well, of course, and that may well be two very recent incidents down to the weather. But that car's got to come in for two separate stop and go penalties now. Oh dear, that's going to drop them quite some considerable distance from that top spot. What's the rain up to? Well, it's wet. Is what it's doing. As Peter Vagapov for Unison Racing can testify. Only a couple of seconds behind day, those set of headlights you saw. Update on the weather. The rain will stop in the next 15 to 20 minutes. The rain will stop. So again, that's going to cause everybody to come in and ditch those wet weather tyres. They just will not last. There's Vagapov coming past the Tether Evening and BMW, but fairly close behind, only 3 seconds back. There he is, well spotted drone pilot. Is the 64 Moradness eStars car, Jimmy Nusela back in control of it. And the drone pilot now avoiding the advertising hoardings. He was determined to fly through earlier on. I love the fact, and the drone pilot's so experienced, it's mimicking the bouncing of the car. That's amazing drone piloting skills. Through turn one, and there you can just say it's kind of difficult to see from this angle, but there you can see the moving headlights up front is the car that Jimmy Nusela is chasing. As Peter Vagapov in the Unison Racing number 17. So, with SEM9 Axle now having to serve 2 separate stop-and-go penalties, that's going to lose them not just the 60 seconds they'll serve stood still, but the pit in and pit out overall loss. That's going to drop them to the back of the DPI class by, certainly down to 5th, by a bit of a distance. So we'll see how they're able to overcome that, because time is not so much on the driver's side now. When they have 9 hours to recover from an issue, that's fine. You can recover a minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, a lap's worth of time. But we've only got 3.5 hours remaining of what's been an incredible race here at Sebring. So they don't have masses of time to claw back that kind of gap, and that's a huge gap that the number 11 has got to deal with. So I think they've dealt with one of them. Looking at the trackers, I think they've been through the pits now, so they've got to do that again, and they won't have long to serve those penalties. They can't just carry on going and serve them at the end of the race. You've got to do it within a certain allotted time of when the penalty's issued. Hopefully you lovely people watching along, either live or post-event, are enjoying this as much as we are. That's the ID Sim Sport car by the look of that roof. That's Marcus Steyer that is coming out of the pit lane, 5th in the GTE class. He was about 14-ish seconds behind Tom Capristo in the satellite car, and he's not actually too far behind him. So there could well be a battle forming for 4th in the GTEs, as we are still watching Jimmy Nusela, who's now within 1.5 seconds of Peter Vagapov. So Jimmy Nusela is really keeping the car very well under control in these slippery conditions. That is one of the burst cars, I think. That's the Euro 7 That's actually the race leader that they are just catching up with. And are they going to unlap themselves? Well, they're allowed to. This is a bit of an odd situation here, because that's race leader right ahead, being overtaken by 3rd place and potentially by 4th. I mean, one, that shows you how well the number 18 team has done, but it is a little bit unusual when you have situations like this. Oh, we've got a bit more team radio coming in. Jimmy Nusela is interested in getting on with it. What's the number 64 team up to say? Let's have a listen.
What was your fuel consumption last lap? 3.23. Why is he flashing lights? He's on front tires.
Yep, he's happy to see us.
Happy flashes.
Bless him. We're happy to see you too, Jimmy. Okay. Update on the number 11. Naquib Azlan has served what I believe is both penalties, and he's actually remained in second. Oh. Nope, no more radio from Jimmy Nusela in the 64 car. Or have they? Now, I certainly saw them come through the pits what I thought was twice. it could be that the number 11 hasn't served its second penalty, because I was wondering how on earth they've managed that. They've done one of them. I don't think they've actually done the other one. They still have a penalty to serve. But look at this, Jimmy Nusela all over the back of Peter Vagapov. Rain is still falling. It's falling at a bit of a lighter rate now than it was earlier on. And wow. Oh, can he hold it? No. Well, sort of. Fair effort, Jimmy, but didn't quite go your way. You didn't lose too much time as a result. Well, that was wonderful drifting. We saw quite a bit of that actually yesterday in qualifying. On board then with Jimmy Nusela as he's unlapping himself. Now this was the kind of teeth drying moment I had earlier with that sharp intake of air. Look how squiggly the 18 car is, and Jimmy's like, yeah, fine, hang on, I'm here, let me through, and which of course he did, and you can't say that he's impeding the number 18 car. As I think Yanni Simic is just biding his time. They're losing quite a bit of time, but they've got a lot of time in hand at the moment. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Oh no! Punch in the face for the CKR car! Oh no, as then wanders off the road, goes Peter Vagapov. Oh no, did they keep it out of the wall? Well, I mean, let's get a replay of that, because that was... Oh dear, Peter Vagapov may well earn himself a penalty for that. Well, that's the spin from Pedro Delgado, which of course he was pitched into. Detonates the braking board, and nearly goes through the tyres. Oh dear, that's going to hurt. Big time for the Sikayaki. Yeah, that is all over the place. Just hugging the inside line. Coming through Sunset Bend, that's destined to the pit lane, and that could well be in there for a while. Yellow flag out there for... That's such a shame, because they were doing really well to recover the last time from previously. The 164 car, I think Liam Ross for Satellite Racing had caused a yellow flag earlier. Oh dear, will the number 17 team face a penalty for that? It was a little bit difficult to tell from that camera angle as to who was at fault for that particular incident, but it has caused the CKR car to come in, and for what I suspect will be quite a while. Oh, that's a lot of traffic for the number 17 to have to deal with. Whoa! Lots of sliding still going on. There's Gadget Hoosen, keeping out of the way. Nicely done. And then right ahead of them... let's have a replay then of the Pedro Delgado incident. So that's the two DPIs behind. So Unison and Jim Nusela, and there. It was quite a light touch, but of course because it's so slippery and at that kind of pace, that's kind of who hit who. That's the thing. Who turned into who at that particular point? Such a shame for the CKR squad. It was such a heavy hit. That's going to be in the pitch for a while. The yellow flag again for the 164 Satellite Racing car. They've had a spin somewhere. They're not having a good time in the slippery conditions. Rain is still falling, so it's not going to dry up in a hurry. But like I say, we think it's another kind of 10-ish minutes at least before the rain stops. If anything else, rain's actually getting heavier. So the lap times, of course, will be affected by that general slipperiness. So anybody that's kind of chancing their arm still on slicks, surely they're going to have to come in now. 11 mil an hour is what it's now raised up to. As that's Naquib Azlan that's brought that car in. That's almost visited the pit lane every single time that's been past the line for the last few laps to serve its penalties, but also now what I suspect is going to be a tyre change. That's on board with Peter Vagapov sliding the number 17 Unison, staying on the back in fairness of the Moradness car, Jimmy Nusela, in the second place DPR car. So he's doing a fairly decent job of actually staying in contention with that, but it's so treacherous. The bumps throw these cars around as it is, but when you've got much less traction, when you do hit terra firma, a big amount of opposite lock, turning left into a right-hander is never ideal. But Peter Vagapov catching the slide very nicely on the 17 car. It would seem that this car is really set up for dry. If it had that bit more downforce on it, it wouldn't be sliding this much. Huge amount of understeer before the tail then loses a bit of traction. So understeer, oversteer, every steer, just not clean steering going on for the number 17. He's losing time on. Oh, that's the satellite. That's one of the satellite cars. And Yene Simoncic as well has caused a yellow flag briefly. So loads of people are having trouble out there. That was Liam Rance again for the Satellite Racing number 164. So really struggling. So Yene Simoncic, what's he done? I suspect he's just had a big sliding moment coming out of Sunset Bend. Yeah, there you go. Oh, he headbutted the wall really quite hard. That's on the way in to Sunset Bend. That was quite a clunk. So, yes, into the pit lane. Well spotted production. So, the lead car, Yene Simoncic, has brought that in. Now, we don't know whether that was planned, but I suspect by the fact that he headbutted the wall quite hard, that wasn't planned in the slightest. But he's going again. It's still Yene in the car, so that may well have just been a bit of damage repair because they had a lap in hand, which they've now technically no longer do because Jimmy Nussler has unlapped himself from that lead car. But as we just saw, the 18 is underway and that CKR car still stationary in the pits. Yellow flag for someone, don't know who, because everybody's moving, I think. Oh no, the only one that isn't moving is the one in the pits, which is the CKR car. Oh, goodness me. Such a shame. 3 minutes they've been in there for. But they're still here. That's the thing. They could have just parked the car and called it a night. They haven't done that. They are still looking to score. I mean, they'll score some decent points anyway because of the fact that they're still on for a decent result. Even if they lose the next position, which will be to the 32 car, they're still a few laps ahead of the Gadget Huset and Teleforeningen car. So hopefully they'll be able to get underway soon. And with how heavy that impact was, I'm not surprised that they're in there for several minutes. When we come back to Vagabov, who's back up into third again. Oh, that's why, because of course Naquib Azlan just been in the pits, hasn't he? So the SEM9 Axle car is back on track. That was Liam Rance in the 164 Satellite Racing car. As we now look, there is the 32 car claiming the third position in GT3s. Oh, team radio, let's have a listen. Wow. Glad to see the CKR car coming back out on track. Again, amazingly steady drone piloting going on in the picture-in-picture. As the rain is getting even heavier. That's absolutely unreal. Yeah, it's absolutely chucking it down. Whoa, Liam Rance. Again, just every time he's going near a corner, all four wheels are just looking at him and smiling. There's just so little traction out there. To put it in perspective, the DPI cars are setting lap times oh, that's Vagapov, and then Liam Rance follows him. Side to side impact, that won't be too bad. There's the other Satellite Racing car coming up right behind them. Oh my goodness, we expect a bit more of that whilst this rain is continuing to fall this heavily. This is Peter Vagapov again, so this is the turn one incident we've just seen. As he's turned in, the tyres have said, "Oh, you're having a laugh, sir." And Liam Rance has had a sympathy spin right behind him. Door-to-door nudge, that won't really... They actually keep each other steady. They prevent each other from spinning. So a bit of a nice friendly camaraderie going on. There's Henri Coyer in the Audi. What's the Gadgethausen car done? That's the spin at Sunset Bend. Yeah, there's going to be plenty of them. And a spit of fire whilst he's at it. I'm assuming that Steven Salsgaard didn't save it. No, a bit of a nudge to the wall. Not too heavily, but it will be enough to agitate the steering a bit, which is the last thing you need in these wet conditions. Did they bring that car in? Oh, he's still going. Someone's been through the pits. Here's the Teleforeningen car. Gert Nielsen in control of that one now. As we look at, that is our second place car, Jimmy Nielsen, I believe. Oh, there's Peter Vagapov with the burst car coming past him. That was the Anapy. That's the race leader that's just gone past him. So now the burst squad on the correct tyres, which means they'll go even quicker. I mean, they're not losing massive amount of time per lap, and by the fact that he's just flown past the Unison car would back up the fact that they are now on the correct tyres. We've completely missed our usual advertising spot, I've just realised, with everything going on. Absolutely fine. We'll carry on until the top of the hour, and then we'll run the adverts again. More yellow flags. Don't know who that was. It's disappeared off the timing screen, so... Well, this is what the weather map's looking like. So it's... Yeah, there you go. It's that bit of weather that has appeared and is agitated. So there we go. He's a weather front that just appeared out of nowhere and is finally then moisturising the track. It doesn't look like he's going to linger for too long. That's why the prediction kind of 15 to 20 minutes came from earlier. Now up to 20 mil an hour, which is absolutely bucketing it down. More yellow flags going on. Again, we don't know who because it's not on my timing screen. Simplexity again, even though they're on the right tyre, look how cautious he's having to be. Goodness me, that's very much monsoon kind of conditions going on out there, which is it's difficult to tell in the dark. I mean, you can see how much rain is falling, but it's difficult to understand how heavy that actually is and how much it's just moisturising the track beyond belief. Ooh, if it gets much heavier than that, we may well see the storm in the sky, so that'll be amusing. It'll be great for us. I don't think it'll do the drivers any favours. But Simplexity then doing what he can on the correct tyres now. Wow, he's not shy of chucking it into Le Mans. Whoa, steady! That's close. Very, very close. That's Roman Signal in the adrenaline car being being unlapped, I think, by was it Skavron? Yeah, that's not a happy looking number 33. If that's not on rain tyres, how on earth is he staying on the track at all? That's impressive. Very, very impressive indeed. On the go, nonetheless. That car is certainly on the right tyres. I think that anyone that isn't on wet tyres was making a gamble that's very badly not paid off, because they'll be losing so much time at this point. Oh, that tail still wanting to let go on the 18 car. You've just seen how nervous it was coming through the bends. Oh, yellow flag for Peter Vagapov. He's had a spin somewhere in the 17 Unison car. Well, trouble for them. It's time they can't afford to lose, because Naquib Azlan is back on the case now. So yeah, one of the quickest times out there. Oh, Liam Rance again. The 164 Satellite Racing LMP2, but that was very quick. A yellow flag, so it's probably just a wide. Oh, replay of the Vagapov spin. Let's have a look. Turn one. Yeah, was exceedingly wide going into the corner, so that was a case of please stop, please stop, please stop, and it finally did. That's again, it highlights how wet it is out there, and the rainfall is still getting heavy. It's now 25 mil an hour, as you can see at the top of the screen. That is quite heavy. Well, I mean, if nothing else, is epitomised by how much these cars are sliding around. Simplexity again. This just makes everybody very, very nervous, or it certainly makes them very alert, if nothing else. Who's he catching up to? That is the MCM car. Alvaro Custi will very much be minding his own business. Look at all those tiny little steering adjustments that Simplexity has to do to just keep the car pointing in the right direction. There's the Teleforingen. Why is it so hard for us English people to say? Teleforingen car to say, out of the shot. There he goes. And a disconnection for the 33. Roman Signal, Team Adrenaline, has disconnected from the session. Do we have our second DPI victim? Well, that's a couple of times that team has disconnected. Sebastian Deville had a connection issue of some description, or had a technical fault of some kind when he was in the car previously. But it is now Roman Signal that's had trouble. Look at the amount of steering going on for Jone Simoncic, straight alive. And this is a car, bearing in mind that Jesper Pedersen was saying was set up for the wet. So, wow, and that's how hard it is with the amount of water that's out there. Yellow again for Liam Rance and 164. Not meaning to pick on you, Liam. It's just that's the yellow flag's unspotted. So yeah, it's going well. it's great for us. But even still, that number 18 car is very clearly well set up for the wet conditions. It is quite considerably quicker than the rest of the DPI class. The only car that's anywhere near it lap time wise is Jimmy Nuttala in the 64 Moradness eStars car. It's just shy of a lap behind Simoncic at the moment. What's the time difference between the two? 10 seconds on the road, I think. Maybe a little bit more than that. About 20 seconds down the road is where Jone Simoncic would actually find Jimmy Nuttala. So, oh no, that's Henrik Hoyer taking a slightly alternate route. It's not going to be any grippier out there, I promise you. You can probably confirm that there's no grippier out there. And still no reconnection from the 33. Yellow flag from Damien Scoffron this time for the 94 Burst eSports car, going for a bit of a wander. There is Naquib Azlan. Oh, I mentioned the 33 car, they've just reappeared. The Roman Signal now back on track for Team Adrenaline. There is the number 94 driver. I beg your pardon, the number 11 driver. Right team on car. Yeah, number 11, so that's Naquib Azlan, that is doing what they can to recover from those two penalties that they had to serve. They're less than 9 seconds behind Peter Vagapov in the 17 Unison car now, so they are pressing on quite nicely. They're getting some decent times out there. They're in the kind of 208s, which in these conditions is really, really difficult to maintain that kind of pace. I mean, so much so that Peter Vagapov is actually in the 213s, or has been for the last few laps. So, again, are they on the wrong tyres? I'd be surprised considering, again, how heavy the rain is falling. So, and the fact they haven't hit the wall yet. They have had a few spins, as we've seen. But the 18 car is still in the 207s. As mentioned, so is Naquib Azlan, actually. So, great setup that is working well in the wet. But previously, Naquib Azlan was really, really strong in that number 11 car. They were doing really, really well. There you go. You can see the rain for yourself. Into the hairpin. Working the way through very, very slippery corners. Yellow sector 3. Who's that? Not sure who that is. That might be Alvaro Fusti. No, he's still running. So, not sure who the yellow flag is. Sometimes the yellow is caused by someone getting out of someone's way, so it's not necessarily a problem. It's just they've slowed down enough for the yellow flag to be shown, but what they're actually doing is just letting someone pass them, so they haven't fallen off the road as such.
To all teams, because of very heavy rain, please be extra cautious on overtaking. Extra cautious on overtaking.
A message from race control, so just a reminder to the teams to be extra cautious with overtaking due to the heavy rainfall. It is actually starting to relent a bit now, so it's not desperately heavy, it's now just quite heavy. It's now down to about 18 millimeters an hour, which won't make the track feel any different, but it just will prevent it getting much worse. Although, whilst I've been saying those words, the rainfall has increased again, and I suspect it's going to fluctuate a little bit more before the night is done. We will see. Who else is going to keep it on the straight and narrow? I think trying to speak to anybody now is going to be fairly useless. So we still look at Naquib Azlan. How far? He's now 4 points. It was less than that, less than 4 seconds now behind Peter Vagapov in the 17 car. Oh, nicely avoided. Oh, that must have felt really, really close. That was the MCM car, Alvaro Custi, doing well to stay out of the way. But also Naquib Azlan doing well to not slam into the side of the Corvette, or the Aston Martin, beg your pardon. Who else shall we look at? The reason why we're staying with him is because of the rate of knots that Naquib Azlan is closing in on Peter Vagabond. I think even if Peter had the inclination to try and defend that third position, I just do not think he's going to have any opportunity to keep that charging number 11 behind him. So he's not really going to have a choice. Like it or not, here I come. Oh, very deep though, very, very deep. There's grip out there somewhere. He managed to keep it on the road though. So yeah, looking at Naquib's camera, nothing seems to faze him. I mean, you might have the kind of what's called a swan analogy in the UK, you know, calm and serene on the top, but feet flurrying, you know, really working heavily under the water. So could be that he's working hard to keep the car under control, he's just not showing it. We will see as the race continues. Charging towards the top of another hour here in Sebring. Here's Naquib Azlan on that back straight, and as you can see, and right behind Naquib Azlan, just saw, I didn't quite see which one of the LMP cars that was. No, it would be. I thought it might have been the 33 car, but no, he's slightly further down the road. But still pressing on. 3.5 seconds now separates him and his prey. Peter Vagabond is picking up the pace a little bit now into the 210s. So he might have a bit of defence to offer, but again, this is such a big pace difference that I really doubt it. Although if Naquib keeps throwing it off the road like that, he's going to find any kind of attack really, really difficult to mount. So we'll see what he's able to do. Tail getting lively again. Still pressing on, keeping everything under control. That's a pair of marshals. The Orange Army doing their job to keep motorsport going even in these horrendous conditions. Must be pretty cold. Although air temperature is 28 degrees even in evening time. But yeah, the bright orange marshal uniforms can't be fun if they're really, very wet. Rainfall has almost stopped at. So, as much as that spiced up the action for this part of the race, it could well be that storm has finally relented. But of course, it will take a little while for the track to dry out. And then we're going to see another flurry of pit stops to get rid of those wet tyres. And whoever's set up for the dry, momentum will shift back to them. Now, like we said, we did think that this storm phase wasn't going to last too long, but with how suddenly it appeared, that doesn't mean we won't have another one before the checkered flag falls in 3 and a bit hours' time. Naquib Azlan taking his time to work his way through, or past the DIS car, with another, I think that's one of the DPI cars right behind him. Can't tell quite who that is. That looks like the Burst car. Therefore, it's not the DPI one, it's Damien Scobron in the 94 car. Oh, there's the CKR car going for a bit of a Peter. Well held, sir. That was a definite brown trouser moment going on for the Adrenaline car. For the Unison car, rather, as we now switch to the Adrenaline car that's going for an exploratory route, but I think he was just getting out of the way more than anything else. You didn't see lots of wild fighting going on. Roman Senor realised that, well, he either realised he'd gone too deep into turn 1, or he was getting out of the way, or a combination of the two. Either way, he just didn't wildly fight the car. He just let it do its thing and then brought it back on quite nicely. Although there's a potential penalty to serve for that car. I don't see a reason for what that penalty would be for yet. There's right ahead of them. Oh, do we have team radio for the Adrenaline car? Let's see.
Il n'y a pas besoin d'ajouter un tour. Je vais parler avec eux. Ok? Donc je me connecte à l'autre canal. Ok.
have no idea what they said. is the long and short of that. Either way, they're still coming. I mean, fair play to the 33 car. They've had quite a lot of difficulty in this race. They are quite some distance behind the LMP field, and obviously even further behind the DPIs. But they are continuing, although that's quite an unusual route. That's the 17 car that's taken that a wandering route. So Peter Vagapov, as we thought, he didn't really have a defence to offer to Naquib Azlan. Rain's fall starting to pick up a little bit again, so it is still raining, but the track would dry out a little bit. Peter Vagapov, goodness sake, get rid of the tyres. Oh, that's determination. I'm riding this train to the end. Someone's coming into the pits right behind, I saw. Couldn't see who it was. I just saw someone coming in. That's the 33 car. That's Ramesino. Is he handing that one over? We will see. Or that is a penalty being served. Like I say, I saw on the timing screen that they had a penalty applied, but I haven't been given notification as to what the penalty was. So do not know on that one. So there you can see on the left, that is... Who's that stop? Oh no, that is the 33 car. So it might be a stop-go penalty then that they're serving. Unfortunate if that is the case. Now you can see a distinct, well, not a lack of rain, but certainly much less than what we had earlier. Oh, who's having the flag waved at them? Don't know. It disappeared too quickly. So there's Peter Vagapov, who's been struggling to keep that car under control, much like riding a wild horse, if I can get the right words out in the right order. And the rain's picking up again. So don't flirt with the grass, Peter! He kept it out of the wall, in fairness. Unsurprisingly, there's a yellow flag out for that. Oh, that must have been really quite treacherous feeling in the car. But he did manage to keep it. Just that car does not want to turn. Those tyres are either wrong or they're dead. Either way, that is a very difficult car to do with the Unison Racing number 17. They've lost so much time on whatever strategy there is they're trying to deploy. There's the CKR car right behind them. What was the last lap for the CKR car? 2:17.2. The Unison Racing car's got a bit more than that. Well, we are fast approaching the top of another hour, so we'll be heading to commercial break very shortly. Again, still determined to keep that car going. Number 17 is not wanting to come in as we look at the Satellite Racing number 164. James Dziuba now in the car. Oh, yellows for Jimmy Nisula. Oh, the number 64 has had a spin. They're going again, so he was able to recover quite quickly, but he's now a lap down from the number 18 again. Hopefully we might be able to pick up a replay on that, but I saw the speed go into the negatives. Yellow flag for Steven Salsgaard. The Gadget Husik car has gone for a wander somewhere, which again is not really a surprise with the slippery conditions out there. But hopefully we'll catch up with what happened to Jimmy Nisula, the Moradness eStars car. But still maintaining a really impressive pace in these conditions. Oh no, give it up. No, that's James Dziuba then. It's bounced off the wall. No, didn't hit it particularly hard, so he may well be okay with that. Replay then of Jimmy Nisula. What happened to you? Let's have a look. As it's queuing up, I've been too impatient again. I'm going to be fired from the box for impatience soon. We see the Satellite Racing. That's going to Dziuba then catching up to the back of Marcus Steyer, the ID Sim Sport car. Blue flag out there for Joao Barbosa, who leads the GTE class at the moment for Deuces. I don't look like the rain is I say the rain has slowed down, that much we know, but it does seem to be slowly picking up again. And it's not relented enough to drawing out the track whatsoever. So the lap times are still struggling a little bit. Yeah, looking at the lap time for Jimmy Nusilo, he lost 6-ish seconds, 5-6 seconds last time around, 2:11.3 his last time. The radar is showing that the rain should have stopped. But it does seem to still be falling ever so slightly out there. So the rain is passing along its merry way, which I'm sure the drivers will be quite pleased about. We're at the top of another hour then. 9 down, 3 to go here in Sebring. Stick with us. Still plenty of action to come.
The 2022 Endurance E-Racing World Championship brought to you in partnership with Viper Gaming by Patriots, Aztec Sim Sports, Global Flicks, Motorvision.tv, Sten Goldman, ESTV, and Film Vault Limited.
Racing for Green is here to help you carbon neutralize your racing. By planting new trees, Racing for Green offers to make your racing carbon neutral. We already have the calculations, contacts, infrastructure, deals and solutions ready for you to easily buy carbon neutral laps on any racetrack. It doesn't matter if you are a racing fan, team owner, driver, sponsor or partner. Anyone can buy CO2 neutral laps in the Racing for Green webshop and trade CO2 emissions for New Forest. Racing for Green.
Just think about the fun things you do online. Diving into movies you love. Shopping. Enjoying free Wi-Fi with your morning coffee. Wait, who's that guy? Meet the Digital Snooper. It can be your internet service provider peeking at what you do online, or a cyber criminal on a mission to snitch your credit card info, or a hacker at the next table trying to steal your sensitive data. Uh-oh. But don't worry. NordVPN keeps all these snoopers away. It makes your internet activity private, protects you from accessing dangerous websites, and lets you enjoy your favorite content securely, even while away from home. The best part? It's just a click. Yep, internet security is that easy.
You can get NordVPN today at a 60% discount by visiting gtr24h.org/VPN.